Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 26th of May and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, let's start with the video, and in the today's video we are going to discuss the entire analysis of Hindu newspaper, all the articles along with the background we are going to take up. Guys, today we don't have the newspaper with us. The PDF copy I was not able to download from my portal. There was some issue, so today we will not be able to take the overview. So directly we will be starting up from the articles that are there. Okay, so apologies for today, as I am not able to show you the newspaper overview because there was a problem coming in downloading the PDF from the Hindu's website, my account. Okay, now starting up here guys, the first we start with the GS quotation. So today we'll be taking the quotation from Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela says that, as I have said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. Great peacemakers are all the people of integrity, honesty, but humility. Now guys, the Nelson Mandela says, and even the Gandhiji had said a similar kind of a thing, that if you want to change the world, first you need to change yourself. So the great leaders, if they are willing to change the world, first they need to be the people of integrity. There needs to be the coherence between what they think, what they preach, and what they do. When they have integrity of character, when they have the coherence of their own thoughts, then only they can expect to bring the change in the world. And you all aspiring to be the civil servants, you all aspiring to be the bureaucrats, you need to inculcate the sense of justice, sense of reform in yourself first if you are trying to bring it into the society. So integrity, honesty is very important. Fine, you can use this particular idea in GS paper number 2 as well as GS paper number 4, ethics. Now moving on guys, starting up with the first article. So guys, this article we have taken from the first page of the Hindu newspaper, and this article is actually very important for the examination, because here we see this thing that insurance sector reforms have been proposed by the IRDAI, that is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. Okay, now first of all guys, understand this particular thing. Before going in this article, first of all, where this article will be important, this article will be important with respect to GS paper number 3, issues related to Indian economy. Moreover guys, this particular article can also be relevant for the social justice related issues. I will tell you that particular thing also. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about insurance in India, insurance penetration happens to be very much less, particularly insurance penetration for the health and life. Okay, now guys, when we talk about the insurance penetration in India, insurance penetration particularly for the health sector happens to be around 3%. Because insurance penetration is not there, what happens many number of times, when the breadwinner of a family, they turn ill, okay, or they die, their family suffer a lot economically. There are a lot of economic hardships that come. In this particular situation, insurance could be a lifesaver. Particularly guys, when we talk about in India, out of pocket expenditure in India, it has been huge. There are the multiple reports about that thing. According to the data by a report of WHO, the health out of pocket expenditure is at around 62%, but government had said that now it has got reduced and it has come around 46-47%. What does this out of pocket expenditure means? It means, though that see, the total money that is being spent in the hospitals, the money that is being spent on the health, how much money was out of pocket? Out of pocket means the money which you did not had, you have sold some jewelry, you have sold your property, you have taken a loan. That particular money that we are spending on the health, that is the out of pocket expenditure. So out of the total expenditure that is being done on the health, nearly half of the expenditure is out of pocket expenditure. Okay, and there was a report also few months back where it was said that a large number of people in India, they are just one hospital bill away from falling into the poverty line. Okay, so understand this particular thing. Suppose this is the poverty line. Now the people here, they are the below poverty line. People here are the above poverty line. Okay, there are large number of people. Okay, if they faced any kind of a health issue, the money that they'll be spending after that, they will also fall here in below the poverty line. So we need a lot. We actually, health cover, life cover, insurance is a tool of ensuring the social it is a tool to ensure the sustenance, okay, of the people. But in India, guys, the insurance penetration is that much not good. Why? There are many reasons. First of all, guys, people don't have a faith in insurance, that even if I take insurance, will my claim be settled? There might be a possibility that, citing some technical ground, I will be refused. Secondly, basically insurance companies also in India have not been able to provide a customized products, that particular kind of products to the people which attract and which covers all of the things. See, today I have to take health cover as a separate insurance, life cover will be a separate insurance, then I need to take a separate insurance for my property, I take a separate insurance for my car. So many of the insurance, so many types of premiums I have to pay, okay, and basically it in itself creates a lot of trouble. Now to solve all this particular thing, IRDA, that is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, which is the regulator of the insurance sector, has proposed a set of reforms, and if these reforms got accepted, then basically a UPI like moment will come in India. What is a UPI like moment, guys? If I tell you, and basically Bill Gates also has said this particular thing while he was in Singapore, that the way transferring money is convenient in India, it is nowhere else in the world. Okay, so this UPI moment we want to bring in insurance, we want to make insurance sector very convenient. Now, what are the reforms that have been suggested by the IRDA? Okay, so basically, guys, the IRDA aims to provide a new bundled product. It aims to provide a new bundled product, a bundled insurance, which will give the citizens protection and at the same time will be convenient, will provide ease to the citizen. Now, basically, guys, what IRDA has proposed, it has proposed the Bima Trinity. Bima Trinity. Trinity means that there will be the three main things that will be there. Under this Bima Trinity, what will be the first thing? First thing that they are proposing is the Bima Sugam platform. Bima Sugam platform. What is this Bima Sugam platform? It will integrate all the insurance distributors, okay, on one particular platform. So whenever a particular insurance claim is to be raised on that common platform, a request can be raised, an application can be raised, and behind the back, okay, that particular platform also only will coordinate with the insurance providers, and all the formalities that has been done will be done by that common platform, and within 6 to 8 hours the money will be given to a person who has raised a claim. So there will be one integrated platform where all the insurers, distributors will come, and there the claim settlements, claim request can be made. Then the next thing that they have suggested is Bima Vistar. This is the second in the Bima Trinity, Bima Vistar. What is Bima Vistar? Bima Vistar is a comprehensive single insurance plan which will cover life, health, property, accident, okay, so accidental insurance, health insurance, property insurance, all the insurances will be under one, that is the Bima Vistar. Okay, moreover, guys, this particular thing is that basically in this Bima Vistar, without the need of the surveyors, the insurance is to be will be tried to be settled. Now, what is the role of a surveyor, guys? I will give you some example. So basically, suppose you report a request, suppose you say that I had a car and my car has ran in an accident. So a surveyor will come, will survey that particular thing, that whether actually it happened or not, and all these kind of things, and will then be clearing the insurance. Okay, so these surveyors actually, they take a lot of time, and the money that is to be given, it gets delayed. So the role of the surveyor will also be minimized. And then the third thing is that Bima Vahak. Okay, what is this? What are these Bima Vahak? Before explaining the Bima Vahak, basically banks will also be enrobed in this entire system. So basically an auto debit authority will be given to the bank for the premium payment. For example, guys, now see, if I have taken insurance, from time to time I need to pay premium. If it is a life cover, I need to pay premium every 6 months or 4 months or yearly. So that premium will automatically be deducted from the bank account. That is also one more thing. Fine. Then there will be the third component, that is this Bima Vahak. Now, who are the Bima Vahak? Basically, guys, the Bima Vahak will be the women-centric workforce. These will be those women who will go house to house in the particularly villages and will convince the head of the house, the women head of the house, that you please buy insurance. Insurance is a very important cover that every person should have. So they will convince them that a composite insurance, that is the Bima Vistar, could be taken up. It will be very much handy into the distress. Now guys, understand one very impactful line. Listen and please use it in exam. In India, insurance is not bought, insurance is sold. Insurance is not bought, insurance is sold. What does it mean? It means that people are never eager to buy insurance. Companies have to make a lot of effort to sell the insurance. And why this is? Because we don't understand the importance of insurance. Understand this thing, guys, that whenever you even buy a mobile phone, the first thing what you do, you buy a cover for that. You buy a tempered glass for that. Okay, that is the first thing that you are doing whenever you are buying a mobile phone. But then why not the cover for your life? Is mobile phone important than your life? We don't understand. And for that sensitization awareness, these Bima Vahaks, women, will be going and will be telling this particular thing to the women's. Okay, this is something. So these are the three things into the Bima Trinity. These are the three things in the Bima Trinity. Then guys, after that particular thing, the IRDA also proposed this particular thing, that basically what they are proposing, they're proposing that now see, all the states, almost all the states, they are issuing the digital birth certificates, they are issuing the digital death certificate. Now suppose a particular person has taken the life cover and this particular person dies, okay, then a death certificate has to be given. Okay, and now procuring the death certificate, then submitting this death certificate physically to the insurance company takes a lot of time. Now what IRDA has proposed, that basically this platform will automatically pull out the death certificate in digital manner, and by that thing also the time will be reduced, and within 6 to 8 hours, even into the death cases, the money could be settled, money could be paid into the bank account. Okay, this is something that has happened. Now guys, IRDA, that is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, it has a goal to provide insurance to all by 2047. Okay, by 2047. And for that particular thing, what they need to do, they are also looking for forming the state level insurance committees. Okay, and there will be then the district level insurance committees. Okay, what these state level insurance committees will do, they will actually try to increase the penetration of insurance. Okay, so there are the banking sector committees which are trying to focus on financial inclusion. Okay, so basically state level committees will be there, then the state governments will formulate the district level plans. Okay, they will formulate the district level plans, okay, to further increase the adoption of the insurances. Moreover guys, the IRDA also have suggested that we need to bring the amendment into the insurance laws, so that more and more player, more and more companies, more and more fintechs, they come in the insurance sector. Further they are also providing this particular thing, that we also need to give some kind of attractive add-ons, attractive benefits with the insurance. For example, when somebody is selling the health cover, they can also give a yoga membership along with that. Okay, or some meditation membership, or membership of, let's say, Spotify. Why? Because this particular thing will attract the new generation, they will attract the millennials. Okay, so this is something that could be done. Now guys, this infographic is a very beautiful infographic that has been given in the Hindu newspaper, and it will summarize all the things that have been there. A bundled insurance, fine, a Bima Sugam platform, linking digital death certificate, women led campaign, that is Bima Vahaks, okay, roping the states, then permitting the insurance to sell value added service, for example a yoga class with a health scheme. Okay, so this is something that now onward you can remember. But guys, all the things that we have discussed, background, etc., is very important, okay, for understanding this issue. Now moving to the next article. Okay, evidence thin on government's claims about the scepter. Okay, now basically guys, the people are questioning that how government got this idea that scepter should be involved, show us the records about the history of this scepter. Okay, and all these kind of things are there. Now that is a kind of a political controversy which is not important for our examination. But what is this scepter, what is this sangol, all these things for the point of view of our prelims examination, art and culture, fine, we are going to see this. Okay, I will tell you first of all the basic thing. Now this thing we are going to see with respect to the prelims examination. art and culture section, we can see this particular thing. Now understand that what this particular issue is all about. So basically guys, on 28th of May, that is 2 days now, 2 days later, the Prime Minister of India is going to inaugurate the new Parliament building. He is going to inaugurate the new Parliament building, and in this new Parliament building, okay, basically this Sengol, okay, this Sengol or this scepter will be installed. Okay, so what is this scepter, what is the significance of this, what is the history of this, all these things we are going to see here. Okay, so just a minute, I think there is some reflection coming. Okay, so let's see all this particular thing. Okay, so basically let's understand this thing. So basically guys, in the parliament, fine, alongside the speaker, this scepter will be installed. What is this scepter? Scepter or Sengol. Now the word Sengol it comes from the Tamil word semi. The word semi means excellence, and what this Sengol represents? Sengol represents the embodiment of power and authority. Basically this Sengol is a kind of a 5-foot long stick. It is a 5-foot long stick. In this 5-foot long stick, now it is made up of silver. It is made up of silver and has been covered with the gold. And over this particular stick here, there is the statue of the Nandi that has been installed. Okay, now why this scepter or why this Sengol, that is a 5-foot long stick, is being installed into the new Parliament building? What is the history? So basically guys, the history of this particular thing is something like this, that when the transfer of power, so you know in 1947 we got independent. Okay, so Britishers transferred the power to the India. So when this transfer of power was happening, so Mountbatten asked from the Jawaharlal Nehru that should we do some special kind of ceremony while transferring this particular power. Then Jawaharlal Nehru turned to C. Raja Gopalachari. He turned to C. Raja Gopalachari and asked that can we do some special kind of a ceremony. Then at that point of a time, C. Raja Gopalachari provided this thing that in Chola dynasty, now we know that Chola dynasty is one of the most influential dynasty from the southern India. So they provided this particular thing that in Chola dynasty there was a particular ceremony that when the power was transferred from one king to the another king, then they used to refer that particular scepter, this particular Sengol was given by the one king used to give it to the other king when the power was transferred, that okay, now you hold, okay, now you hold this scepter and from today you are the king. So that was the physical and a kind of a symbolic transfer of authority. So it was said that Britishers also can transfer this particular scepter to the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and it will signify the transfer of power from British to India. So this particular stick was to be given, and at that point of a time, what happened? A scepter was designed. This scepter was designed and actually it was presented to the Prime Minister, to PM Nehru by the Thiruvavadurai Adinam, okay, which was a monastery. Okay, so this scepter was presented. This scepter was kept by was there in the home of Jawaharlal Nehru for some days, and then it was given to a museum in Prayagraj. Okay, and now from that museum in Prayagraj, this scepter is being brought, Sengol is being brought and will be installed into the parliament, new parliament that is there. Now when we talk about this scepter, over the above this scepter, there is this particular Nandi's representation that is there. Okay, so basically Nandi bull, okay, is a symbolic. It reminds everyone to be fair and to be just in the leadership. Okay, the Nandi is the representative of the justice, fairness. Okay, and this is the way, this is the history of the scepter. Now guys, when we talk about the Chola dynasty, Chola empire, so when that power used to be transferred, this scepter was given, and apart from that, an order called as Anai was also given. Now this order Anai was in Tamil, and this order actually symbolized that the new king will have a responsibility to govern with an unwavering adherence to the principle of dharma, okay, justice, fairness, okay, all these things needed to be kept in mind by the new ruler. Okay, so this order was also given. So this is all the history and the issues related to the scepter. Now guys, beyond that, please don't go too much in detail. Okay, now moving on in the next article. Why do judges recuse themselves? Why do judges recuse themselves? Now this particular article, guys, will see with respect to the GS paper number 2, issues of polity, and in GS paper number 4, ethics also. Fine, we will take this particular article. Now let's see first of all what the article is actually talking about. So basically, first of all, what is this word recusal? So a judge, when sitting on the bench, if a judge discovers that in this particular judgment the judge will not be able to fare, judge will not be, there might be a conflict of role that comes, then the judge says that okay, I will not sit on this particular bench and I will be taking a recusal. Means that I should be replaced by some other judge. That is the recusal. Okay, let me give you one example. Suppose, guys, there is a judge, and basically the case of his own son is brought in front of himself. Judge, and the case of his own son is brought in front of himself. Now obviously the judge is also the father of this particular person, and those fatherly emotions will automatically be coming in between, and the judgment might not be fair. Okay, and what will happen here? There will be the conflict of interest, conflict of role that will happen. One interest is to ensure the wellness of the son, and another interest is to ensure that the justice is delivered into the most fair manner. So this conflict will come. So therefore this particular judge will take a recusal and some other person will come here. So this is the recusal. Now guys, actually what has happened in the past few months, we are seeing that more and more requests for the recusals are being made. Now let's understand this particular thing. So basically, guys, what happened last week, there was this particular issue going on. So basically there is Supreme Court Judge Justice M.R. Shah. So Justice M.R. Shah was hearing the case of an IPS officer. The case was of the custodial death. Now earlier this particular case was decided by the Gujarat High Court, and that IPS officer was convicted, that you are responsible. He was convicted. Now he has appealed for this particular case in the Supreme Court, and Justice M.R. Shah was actually at that point of a time in Gujarat High Court when he heard his case. Okay, so at that point of a time, just a minute. Fine. So just a minute. Fine. Yes, it was Gujarat High Court only. I was just checking. So basically at that point of a time in the Gujarat High Court, when the IPS officer was convicted, at that point of a time also M.R. Shah heard that particular case. At that time he was the High Court judge. The case came to the Supreme Court, and Justice M.R. Shah also got elevated to the Supreme Court as a judge, and now also he is hearing the case. So it is said that by the IPS officer that while earlier Justice M.R. Shah heard that case, he was very strict. Again it will be the same thing. So therefore he is asking that Justice M.R. Shah should take a recusal and should bring some another person to hear this particular case. Okay, so this is there. And then guys, there was also one more issue, that the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, basically it was said, now D.Y. Chandrachud is also hearing one very important case that is going on, and we have discussed it also many number of times, recognition of the same-sex marriages. So in this case also it was said that the Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, he seems to be biased, it was said, and therefore he should take a recusal. This except was also rejected. Now this particular article is talking about the provisions with respect to the recusal and all such kind of things. So recusal is judge stepping away from a case when the judge is recused. So judges will be taking a recusal when there is the conflict of interest. I told you already the example of conflict of interest. See, there is, let's say, one of my role as a teacher, one of my role could be as of a brother. Okay, so when my role of a brother, son, fine, okay, any such kind of a role comes in conflict with other role, then there is a conflict of interest. Now guys, let's understand this particular thing. Conflict of interest can happen in many ways. For example, holding share in a litigant company. Suppose guys, there is a case that a company has done some kind of a ill practice, malpractice, and the judge is holding the share of that particular company. Okay, so a judge's commercial interest is in there in that company. So judgment might not be the fair. Okay, if there is a personal association with the party, in a case there are two parties, let's say with one party there is a personal connection, then there is a conflict of interest that will come. Okay, this is there. Then guys, there is also one more area where the conflict of interest is cited. It is when an appeal is filed in the Supreme Court against a High Court judgment. Okay, now see this thing, a High Court judgment, against that judgment a case is filed in the Supreme Court. So the judge who decided the case in the High Court, fine, there might be a possibility that he got elevated in Supreme Court, and in Supreme Court also now that same judge is hearing. That should not happen. So basically it has been said that there is a principle of nemo judax in sua causa. Nemo judax in sua causa, this is one of a principle of the due process of law, and nemo judax sua causa says this thing: no person shall be judge in his own case. No person shall be judge in his own case. Moreover, there is also one more principle, that is justice must not only be done but should be seen as being done. This principle was given in 1924, fine, by the Chief Justice of England. So therefore it is said that whenever even a slightest doubt is there that judgment might not be fair, then the recusal should be taken. Okay, now guys, when we talk about the recusal, okay, recusal could be automatic when the judge himself or herself has taken the recusal. Okay, or then the recusal could also be when a party makes a request for the recusal. Now when we talk about the recusal, the decision of recusal solely rests on the conscience and the discretion of the judge. Okay, nobody can compel the judge to take the recusal. It purely depends on judge's own conscience. But there are some deficiencies that have been identified by some of the judges. For example, Justice Lokur, he had said this particular thing, that we need to have a procedural and substantive rules to deal with the recusal pleas. Okay, we need to have the rules, proper rules to deal with this particular matter. Even the Delhi High Court has said that no litigant or third party has any right to intervene. Okay, intervene or inquire regarding a judge's recusal from a case. Okay, then there is this Supreme Court judgment in West Bengal versus Shivanand Pathak, and in this particular judgment they have said that judicial bias is preconceived opinion or predisposition or predetermination to decide a case or an issue in a particular manner. So when judge has a predisposition that I will rule in this manner only, I will decide in this manner only, that is the judicial bias. And in order to remove this judicial bias, okay, that judicial bias should not be there. Okay, now when we talk about the recusal issues, fine, what is the provisions in the USA with respect to the recusal? So USA has a well defined law on recusal. In USA there is this, in the American Bar Association's Model Code of Judicial Conduct, there are 3 grounds of recusal in which a judge has to take a recusal. Number 1, if there is a financial or corporate interest in a case, if in a case judge was a material witness or a lawyer, if earlier judge was a lawyer in one of the case. Okay, if the judge has a party, a judge has a relationship with one of a party. So in these of the cases, recusal should be taken, has to be taken up. Okay, so these are something, guys, the issues related to the recusals. I hope that you have understood it. Now moving to the next article. An ordinance, its constitutionality and scrutiny. Now guys, this particular issue had come so many of the times in the newspaper. We have discussed it so many of the times. Okay, what this article is all about? This article is about the ordinance that recently has been issued by the government, that is the government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, Amendment Ordinance 2023. Okay, now guys, what is this particular amendment, what is this particular ordinance? Let me tell you. And before that, guys, let me give you some of the basic background information also. So basically, guys, there was a tussle going on between the Delhi government and going on between the central government. Delhi and this particular tussle was that who will control the bureaucrats, who will control the civil servants in the case of the Delhi. Okay, DANICS, Delhi Andaman Nicobar Island Civil Service, other bureaucrats, officers who are there. So central government says that the LG, Lieutenant Governor, will control them, but Delhi government said that no, we will control them. So this particular matter reached to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court finally provided this particular thing, that the Delhi government, elected government, Aam Aadmi Party, will control the bureaucrats. it was said as a victory of the Aam Aadmi Party government. Then guys, what happened? The central government come out with an ordinance by using Article 123. Ordinance was passed by the president, and in that ordinance, what actually happened? They created National Capital Civil Service Authority. National Capital Civil Service Authority. Actually, they said that this particular authority will decide the matters related to the posting, transfers, everything of the civil servants, bureaucrats. Now this particular body, it was provided, first of all, this body will be the 3-member body, in which two of them will be the IAS officers, okay, on which the central government will have a lot of control. One will be the chief minister, and if 2 members want, they can overrule chief minister, and finally LG, lieutenant governor, will be the one who will be the final decision making authority. Okay, so LG, if wants, can bypass any of the decision of this NCC, National Capital Civil Service Authority. So LG again has been made powerful. So basically the article is saying that this particular ordinance negates the constitution bench judgment, because the Supreme Court provided that Aam Aadmi Party should take that particular thing, elected government should take it. That particular thing has been negated. Okay, now it is being provided this particular thing, that basically when we read the article 239AA subclause 3 subclause A, so article 239AA contains the provisions with respect to the governance of the National Capital Territory. So it has been provided that, very clearly it has been provided that out of the 66 entries in the state list, the Delhi government, elected government, will be able to legislate onto the 63. 3 entries they will not be able to rule, that is public order, police and land. They cannot make the law, they cannot legislate on that. Apart from that, all other things the Delhi government can interpret. Then second thing that is coming in this particular direction is that, guys, that basically now the union government, what they has done by this particular ordinance, they have taken one more subject in their own hand. So public order, police and land were already there, they also have taken the services. Could they do this particular thing? No, because it was neither it is provided in article 239AA nor the court has allowed them. Moreover, the Supreme Court, when we talk about it, in its judgment, it has been provided that it has given the control of the bureaucracy to the Delhi government, elected government of Delhi. And there is article 141 and article 144 that we need to keep in mind. Article 141 provides that any law declared by the Supreme Court will be binding on all the courts. And then there is article 144. Article 144 says that Indian constitution direct the civil and judicial bodies to assist the Supreme Court. It has been provided that by article 141 and 144, any order issued by the Supreme Court has to be followed, and here the union government has negated that particular thing by passing this particular ordinance. Secondly, guys, it is being also said this thing that there is the Supreme Court judgment of Krishna Kumar Singh versus State of Bihar. Here it has been provided that president can pass the ordinance using article 123, and before passing an ordinance, president needs to be satisfied that this ordinance should be passed, and passing this ordinance is good thing. So president should be satisfied. Even the president's satisfaction is not immune from judicial scrutiny. Judicial review can be taken. So even in this particular matter, judicial review could be taken, and Supreme Court might take that judicial review to see that the ordinance is in the right spirit, yes or no. Fine. Now the next article, economics that looks at the lower half of the pyramid. Now guys, this article we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 3. Now the article basically has been written in a very abstract way. Fine. Basically it is critical of the present economic policies, present economic system, but not going in too much of deep and giving actual solutions. Basically what they say, what this article is saying, the article is saying that the number of Indians who are left behind, who have been left behind by the growth, now exceeds 50%. Okay, more than 50% of the people did not got economic benefit, they did not got the benefit of the education, they are poor, they are deprived. Okay, they are economically weaker section, that number has increased. Okay, recently this global solution summit was held in Berlin, which this year. Okay, and it was provided that there is a new paradigm for the economy that is needed, new models of economy that are needed. Now if you see, guys, today the haves, that is the rich class, and have nots, that is a very poor class, their number has increased, and it is shaking up the politics around the world. Okay, both the people towards the left side, towards the right side, they all are talking about the radical reforms. The people towards the left, they want a revolutionary change in economic policies, social structure, more reservation should be given, more affirmative action should be taken. The people on the right, they want that the present system should be contained. And in between, the economic liberals, okay, which talk about the rule based policies, rule based procedures, what actually they are also they fear a concentration of political power. They always talk about the concentration of power should not happen, centralization of power should not happen, but they never talk about the concentration of wealth. Okay, now it has been said, guys, that actually what has happened in the past 50-60 years, the economies, they have, some of them reformed towards the socialism. Okay, particularly the Eastern Europe, they have reformed towards socialism. Okay, and by that particular thing, they have tried to bring a kind of a socialistic model for welfare. But after that particular thing, if we take the example of the West and the USA, what they did, they introduced social security, increased taxes, spending more onto the people so that the people's welfare should happen. But guys, nothing has actually been completely foolproof. Even after this thing, fine, what is happening? The people are becoming poor, people are suffering. Fine, basically governance of all the countries, fine, it must be for the common good. Ease of living should be most important. Fine, but that is not happening. Fine, subsidies for the poor whenever they give, when they were being given by the government, it is called as a freebie. Okay, but when the incentives are being given to the corporate, they are said as good. Fine, this is a kind of a hypocrisy. If you are giving subsidy to the poor, it is said as bad for the economy, but giving a lot of tax benefits, tax rebates to the corporate, it is said as it is a good incentive for bringing more and more investors. So it has been said that the economic model that the world is going with has failed, and that economic model needs to be changed. Okay, and in India also, the political parties should come together and should focus that how the 50% people into the lower part of the pyramid society should be given benefit. That is all about this particular article. Now moving to the next article. Should states revert to the old pension scheme? Okay, now guys, please don't go too much in this particular article. First of all, there are so many of the articles. Everybody is giving their own opinion. Old pension scheme, new pension scheme, benefits, not benefits. Guys, this is a policy matter. Just you need to understand what is the difference between old pension and a new pension scheme. Okay, for your exam point of view. Beyond that, please don't waste your time. Find such things are not asked in the exam. Old pension and new pension. Basically, guys, old pension and new pension schemes are the pension schemes that are available to the government employees. Now, old pension scheme, guys, was the pension scheme that was available to the government employees till 2004, and after 2004, new pension scheme has been brought. Now, when we talk about the old pension scheme, under the old pension scheme, the government employees, they were given a pension on the basis of the length of their service and the last drawn salary at the time of retirement. So how many years they have worked and what was their last salary. On that particular basis, the pension will be given to them. For example, it could be, I'm giving you just an example, it could be like if your last drawn salary was 50,000, then 50% could be your pension, that is 25,000, and it will be continuously be given. Secondly, when we talk about, guys, the old pension scheme, okay, in old pension scheme, the employer would only contribute. Employee don't have to make any contribution. Okay, but now the new pension scheme came after 2004. Now, what was the new pension scheme? In the new pension scheme, government employee will contribute. Old pension scheme, employee has not to contribute. In new pension scheme, government employee will contribute, and then employer, he will also contribute. That particular money, employees contribution, employers contribution, will be invested into the market schemes. It will be invested into the market schemes. Okay, and basically the return that will come out of that, okay, the return that investment will make, okay, that consolidated fund then will be given as the pension. Okay, this is the difference. Now some of the state, now the employees, they are asking that we want to go back to the old pension scheme. Why? Because in old pension scheme there was a guaranteed pension that will be given. In new pension scheme there is no guaranteed pension. If market is good, you might get a better return. If market is not good, you might not get it. So this is something that has happened. And now, guys, the main practice question for today. So question reads that with increasing income inequalities within and among countries, Indian political parties and economists need to refocus on the economy analyze. 10 marker question for GS paper number 3. So that is all guys about it, and with this we come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. Guys, I hope that you have understood it. Okay, so thank you guys, and if you have liked the video, please do hit the like button. Thank you so much.